I'm live. All right. So today I'm going to talk about something that my late best friend told me. And the reason I'm doing this is because I was passing this advice to my children last night. And I thought this is valuable to share with the average person. So while working, corporate world, corporate America, the environments are different from place to place. And this could apply to like factory work, it could apply to office, basically anywhere. Um, But my best friend who passed last year, he was older than me. He was in nuclear B-52 bombers. He was a tail gunner. And we worked together in an office in a corporate, well, I don't need to go into that detail, but anyway, he gave me some great advice because I was burning myself out, working too many hours too hard. And the advice that I got from him was you need to reevaluate what you're doing and why. Because if you burn yourself out to the point that you don't survive, it is not helpful to you or your family or anyone else. But the advice that he gave me was, when I was flying on the B 52, they had a thing called Max Cruise. And he said that the B 52 bomber, of course, is a very big plane, has a lot of engines on it. What happened is if you drove too slow in a B 52 bomber, it would give you a lot of drag and it would make it inefficient and hard on the plane. And he said if you went too fast, of course, you'd burn the motors out and the plane would be useless in a shorter time span than if you had ran at max cruise. So, what is max cruise? Max cruise was published as 70%. And he said that's what they are advised to fly the B 52 bombers at was 70% motor power. And he said if it was good enough for the American military, it was good enough for him. And I think that's good advice because what he would say was if you don't do enough work and you get noticed and basically you're going to get flack from managers and you're going to eventually start getting possibly reprimanded or fired or whatever, right? I was never in that type of jeopardy because I worked too hard. But the other side of it is if you're working too hard, if you're at 100% all the time, you're going to burn yourself out. And he said, if you don't get to your destination, right, if your plane motor burns out and the plane crash, he said the mission has failed. So it's the same thing with your employment. If you don't get to whatever goal you've set for yourself, whether it be a retirement or, you know, some kind of thing you want to do in your life that's not work, you failed the mission. You have to look out for yourself first because especially nowadays, corporate America will just this is the other advice he'd tell me. He said that they look at people like a battery. He said they'll deplete the battery and they'll throw the battery away and get another battery to plug in. And so if you don't have enough self-respect for yourself, then if you want to be just thrown out like a battery, then keep doing what you're doing. Yep, I'm talking about the over workers, the ones that are killing themselves doing too much. But if you actually want to succeed for yourself, you might want to think about that it's better to be in it for both them and you than to just be in it for them, get where they get everything that they want and then you don't get what you want. I mean, it is a partnership, right? You're working for them, but it's not they get everything they want and then you die early and then you don't get to retire or whatever. So some of you younger guys, you might think, well, I could work at 100%, forever. You get to be middle aged, you start having health issues and stuff. So think about max cruise. If it's good enough for the military, probably good enough for you. And the thing is, you got to wonder what's driving you to work this hard anyway. Is it your own ego? So you can say, hey, I'm the best worker or the hardest worker in the group. Ultimately, who cares besides you? Um, One day you won't be there and it won't matter. No one's gonna remember you worked there. It won't, it's not like your legacy belongs at the office or the position you're in. Your legacy is with your people at home. So something to think about. Men in general are trained their whole lives to believe that their function in life is to be a provider and that's it. But that isn't true. There's more to you than that. So don't let them use you as a battery. Max Cruise, don't let them burn your motors out. You got to get to your destination. Hopefully that helps somebody, because my best friend helped me with that. And he was a really good guy. All right. Bye.